Yeah. So about the Eastern Conference, um, from an outlook standpoint, I'm looking at all of the teams. We got this Jason Tatum injury, and Jalen Brown just had surgery too. I don't know if you've seen that. He had yeah, he had his post from the hospital. He post surgery. Hopefully everything went well. The Knicks and their coaching search, Pacers, Magic, Bucks. We'll see what happens with Giannis. We'll see if the Miami Heat can make anything happen in free agency. I heard that the Brooklyn Nets also have $100 million in cap space. Um, that's going to be interesting to see how they what moves they can make. But what you think about the Eastern Conference? Even though this is the era of parity, I feel like we've always had some sort of projected favorite in both conferences. I know I've always have, but this upcoming year, I can't really think of a team that I would possibly have going back to the Eastern Conference Finals or Finals.
Oh, well, I agree. It's definitely a lot of parity. Um, I don't got a no clear cut either. I'm gonna base it on from what we've seen so far. It's whoever healthy. I guess whatever some of the best uh, out of the better teams in the East is gonna come down to health. Once you're hurt, somebody gets injured. It seems like that do you in. Saw that with Boston, Milwaukee, Cleveland. See the Pacers over the last couple of years, they've been able to get the success they have because they've been the healthiest team, down the stretch. So I think health is playing a big part of it. Um, but there's definitely a lot of wide open teams. I think Philly might get back into the hunt. The door is still open. They had like a nice little bit of a couple cool bit of players on their team that was hooping when George and Embiid was out. They had Quentin Grimes was doing some big things. They had the rookie Jeremy Kane. That was his name. I know he lost, but if they can get them all back next year, and if they can get some kind of health out of Embiid and George, which is like knocking on all the way you can knock on, but they can still get in the running if they healthy. So I think the East come down to which teams can stay healthy.
Would you have a team that you would say this is the team that I'm going to have getting to the Eastern Conference Finals?
Mm, I see the Pacers running the back. I can see the Pacers if they keep their team intact. I can see the Pacers running their back because they got a roster that's kind of can sustain a little bit. They're not leaning on one particular thing. And I think Miles Turner. I think he's a big piece. I think he's the only significant piece, and I think the Knicks too. I think the Knicks still um, they were pretty healthy. They just had a little bit of more. You can maybe say the Knicks' downfall could have been the coaching, game plan, and scheme why they're not in the finals. But the Knicks pretty much finished the season pretty healthy too. So if I had to pick a team, I'll probably look at them too.
Um, I'm looking at the Knicks, real top heavy. One of the most top heavy teams I feel like in the league. They got this Mikal Bridges extension coming in. Let me ask you a quick question. If you the Knicks, would you try to get out of the Carl Anthony Towns business? I'm looking at his deal right now. He's due to make 53, 57, and then 27, 28. He has a $61 million player option.
Uh, no, I wouldn't. And I think the Knicks look a little bit more heavy than they actually are. I think Tibbs just played a certain amount of guys. I mean, they still got like McBride, they got Mitchell Robinson, they got a couple pieces that's on the it. They got Shamit. There's a couple pieces on their bench that can hoop. They got Dylan Wright. They just wasn't playing. So
Right.
yeah, they are top heavy as far as like the contracts and who they paying, like their big four. But they got some pieces, they got some people. They just really wasn't out there. So I don't think they're as top heavy. And I'm gonna keep Towns. I mean, you just traded him, but this was the first full season with him, or last year, or the second full season. Was this the second full season?
No, this was the first.
This is the first full season, right?
Uh,
So this is the first season with him. You just got him. He still can do what he do as far as offense. Defense is what it is with him and Brunson. You got to work around that. I mean, that's why you got Mikel and OG to work around that. I think it's worth another year. I feel like if they was to move towns, it's just the Knicks juggling around. They came a long way to kind of get to this point where they got like steady talent on their roster. I think they got to ride it out, uh, especially like what we keep saying about how wide open the East is. So even if it don't work out, um, the money ain't doing nothing but going up in the league. They can always trade him another year or two from now. But if I'm them, I'll run it back.
So what you think about the Cavaliers? I want to talk about them real quick because I'm looking at their season. This is one of the best seasons they've had since like they had number 23 in uniform. Like crazy season. Shout out to them. I don't know if they're gonna overreact though, because if you look back at the season when you do the autopsy, you're gonna be like, well, Darius Garland was hurt. We made it to the second round. I'm pretty sure that wasn't the ceiling that they had in mind. I'm pretty sure it was a finals appearance, Eastern Conference Finals appearance at minimum. Garland got hurt. We lost to the team that did make the finals. I don't know if that's not justifying it, but we got this team. Tyrese Halliburton is the engine that makes the car run. You got Siakam, you got Nimhar, and I'm not gonna front. I started to pay attention to Andrew Nimhar like last season. Like I'm a fan. They got him on a great deal, by the way, too. Miles Turner, Benedict Mathurin. They got some guys over there. But if I'm Cleveland, I am disappointed in the results. The question is, do you spin the block on Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell? Because I'm pretty sure they pay Evan Mobley. He's untouchable. I don't know. I don't know if Jared Allen will be there next year. That's what I'm saying. This team potentially could. The makeup of this team could be a lot different going into next season.
Well, as far as Cleveland, I was always I thought they would have moved. I never liked the small guards. Uh, I give them all the credit. They made it work. Uh, Garland played a lot better than I thought he would, as do Mitchell. Um, that kid could score. He's a little undersized, but he could score. So they've always surprised me that they've been good as they've been having a small guard lineup. Um, I think it's probably not ideal
Mm-hmm.
uh, having because they still not going to be able to be much defensively just because of their size. And Garland is kind of building up a little history of injuries as well too. So um, it looked like their success path is kind of like delicate if they keep it the way it is, as far as who they got on their roster now. I feel like it is kind of delicate. We're kind of similar to like the Pacers. They're not too far from the Pacers. They're not too far from the Knicks either. Um, if there's a move to be made, it depends. It would have to be what it looked like. Um, it really would have to be because I'm assuming the only person you probably moving is with Garland. It's about the only person you would move.
And
And what you
Mitchell and Mobley, I'm pretty sure they're the untouchables.
So if you're moving him, it depends on what the return look like. Obviously, it's going to be another wing. I'm sure it's going to be a bigger wing. Who's out there that kind of fit that mold? Somebody that can play next to Mitchell. So I think it's really personnel dependent as far as what they do with him.
So we got some news this week, earlier this week. Desmond Bain got traded to the Orlando Magic. We knew a shakeup was coming to Memphis. I just didn't know who or when. But Desmond Bain, you call him T Rex, he ended up being the odd man out. So if I'm the Grizzlies, I'm looking at the East. I mean, excuse me. If I'm the Magic, I'm looking at the Eastern Conference next season. I'm saying, how can we get into the mix? They obviously need to shoot, and they could not shoot the ball for nothing. I thought Contavious Caldwell Pope would remedy some of those issues, but he had a horrible season by his standards for sure. But if I'm the Magic, if I'm the front office, I'm looking at how can we get into the mix. I feel like they brought a great guy in, a guy that can create for himself and others. He can catch and shoot. He's a good defender. I believe a career 41% from three, if I'm not mistaken. This is a move that says We got our two cornerstones in Franz Wagner and Paulo Banquero, and we just need to add to that. I like the addition of Desmond Bain. I feel like that is the type of move that can put them in the upper echelon of the Eastern Conference. I wouldn't be surprised if they playing in like late May next season. Um, he is under contract. They signed France. The Paulo deal is that's the extension to be watching out for. Uh, this was year two for Paulo, right? Or year three?
Probably year three. He's
So
probably he probably get his extension this summer.
that's what I'm thinking. Either this summer. I think I did look at the numbers. Is this summer, next summer? So let me ask you this: from a cap standpoint, if Franz got 244, I think Desmond Bain got like a buck 90. Paulo is probably gonna flirt with 300. I'm assuming this is just a basic guy doing calculations.
Mm,
I'm nobody, but I would assume that he'll flirt with the 300. So between your top three, you already looking at like a crazy payroll. You looking at over maybe what a buck 50 for three players probably. I'm not the mathematician like you are, but it's just a guesstimate. If that's my payroll, how you feeling about those three players? We could just round off to say buck 80 three players, something like that. We just round off
for who? For Paolo?
when Paulo gets extended.
Yeah, I don't think he gonna hit the 300 because I think that's a rookie extension. So I don't think the
That is
rookie.
that is the rookie extension. So
Yes, I
yeah,
don't
you're right.
think
He
he'll
might
climb.
get a little more than what Paulo. Excuse me. He might get a little more than what Fonz got.
Yeah, so the big 300 that's probably gonna be the second one all NBA make one of the teams that max. I think he'll get the rookie max whatever that is. It'll still be a lot, but
I
if you
actually, not to cut you off, I apologize.
yeah
ESPN Bobby Marks, shout out to Bobby Marks. They said it could be a 5 year 247.
okay all right yeah
Yeah,
yeah
my bad.
yeah yeah yeah. So if you the Magic, I mean, this is what you've done waited from the time you saw Dwight lead the building. You kind of been
Mhm.
waiting for a roster. You've been waiting for a roster that you could pay, and you finally got the talent. They've been through it. You know, they've from the Jonathan Isaacs and the Mo Bambas, and they kind of been on a I felt like they just traded Vucevic like 2 years ago. So the Magic is they've been due. They've been due for some time, and they might as well go for it. And when you're going for it, you're spending the money. So you go for it. This is their time. They ain't been sitting on no crazy cap all these years. You go for it. You pay whoever you need to pay. And I feel like the Bane move, kind of like you were saying, I do like the move too. I hear a lot of people talking about like the picks. And so, just for the audience, Swisher, for somebody to talk for your audience who may not be up on like picks and how they work. It's a lot different when you calling somebody for a player. Um,
Right.
I'm not even sure Memphis put him out there to be traded. I'm pretty sure Orlando made that call, and they made him an offer that they couldn't refuse. So it was a player that they really wanted, so they was able to pay that 3 or 4 first round picks. So for them, I feel like it's worth it. Um, this is the last they feel like they can compete, and I feel like they're right there. They're right there with the Cavs and the Knicks and the Pacers. If they in the Eastern Conference Finals next year, I won't be surprised. They're a little different than the other teams. I mean, they're a little. I think they're a little bit more like Cleveland, where they're trying to get their work done on the defensive end, and now they got somebody that can really push them forward on the offensive end. They got the depth, they got the youth, so they might as well shoot for it. Might as well.
Yeah, I was trying to see if they were a second apron team. I think they actually might be below the second apron. Let me make sure. Let me make sure. I just had them. Okay, so first apron is $195 million. They payroll is 191. So they are below the second apron, but they are a first apron team. And I'm looking at the roster construction. I do like the move because you kind of got like your point forward in Paulo. They did keep Anthony Black. I feel like Anthony Black is somebody that they want to keep continuing to develop. I know he's still young, but when you put him with like Paulo, they were the injury from hell team last year. Or you could say like they had the season from hell last year. It was a lot of injuries, and I felt like going into the season, I was listening to a conversation about what teams could kind of like be in line to make that next leap, and the Orlando Magic was one of them. It was like the Pacers. It was like teams like the Magic. I think potentially a team like maybe the Rockets. I can't really remember how high or low I was on them at the time, but I expected the Magic to make a big leap because I know defensively they were one of the best teams, but guys just kept getting hurt in and out the lineup. But I feel like this season everything is kind of lining up for them to really make that next leap and assert themselves in the hierarchy in the Eastern Conference. Um, if you if you like the Knicks or the Cavs or the Magic, how do you look at the Indiana Pacers from a competitive standpoint? Because I know like a guy like Halliburton is getting like the overrated chance, even though he is. I feel like Halliburton is a first or second tier point guard in the league, possibly a first, because when he's on, he's on. I feel like he's one of the best point guards in the league, and they do got the complementary pieces around to make him really go. I like the Siakam and the Miles Turner and Andrew Nemhards, but I feel like a lot of teams they give me that feel that I'm not afraid to play the Pacers. Like we're not trying to like change our seeding to avoid playing the Pacers, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Never understood the overrated of Halliburton. I think he's like he never did nothing to be overrated. He's rated right where he's at. You know,
Right
right.
where he at.
He's a pure point guard. He ain't
Right.
never won no 30 game scoring streak and didn't score 15 the next few games. So he ain't
Right.
dunking on people. He ain't jumping out the gym. So I don't really get people who be saying stuff like overrated. I think he properly rated. So for the Pacers, that's a team I pretty much rightfully I underestimated them. The Pacers will beat you. Um, they will beat you. Like if we even if we look at the series now, um, I thought the Thunder was cooked. It was not looking good for the Thunder. Uh,
Mhm.
the game before last, I thought they might end up going down 3-1, and it's over with. They're not coming back. So for the other teams in the East, um, keep thinking like that. The Pacers will get you up out of there.
Absolutely.
You just don't look like it. They don't the roster construction. I give it a lot to like everything they got going on. A lot of it got to do with the coach. Siakam is a player that he really kind of fell off from the moment he won that championship, and he looked like he kind of like got his bounce back with the Pacers. Nimhard and Neesmith, those are two good guards to have. They can both lock up and defend and shoot. They got TJ McConnell. They got a lot of depth. They don't play their guys a lot of minutes. They're a lot like Oklahoma. They're a lot like OKC. They don't got the star power of
That's
OKC, but um, if you're the Knicks and the Pacers or even Orlando or whoever, you underestimate, they will get you out of there in 6 games in the playoffs. 5, 6 games, they will get you out of there. You will look up and they got 130 something points on that board. They could just get it rolling somehow. I don't see how. I mean, I see how they're doing it, but mess around with the Pacers, they get you out of there.
so if you the Boston Celtics, I just had the aprons up just a minute. Hold on. So actually Boston is first in payroll, 227 million. Uh, at best, Tatum is gone for all the next season with the Achilles injury. Brown just had surgery. I don't know what's wrong with Kristaps Porzingis. I don't think nobody knows what's wrong with Kristaps Porzingis. I think Derek White, guys like Peyton Pritchard will remain on the roster just because they roll on the team. I do like Peyton Pritchard a lot. I think Derek White is one of the better guards in the NBA, one of the more underrated guards in the NBA as well. So that leaves Kristaps and Drew Holiday. I'm thinking I know Kristaps is expiring. He's an expiring contract. Drew may be in line. I don't know his contract situation per se. He may be in line for like a short term deal later on, but I do feel like they just paid Drew a
He
couple of
got
years.
years ago.
But who would be easier? Who would be easier to trade?
Out of those two,
Do you think it would be because Kristaps isn't expiring, but I think I heard that you may have to attach a pick to Drew Holiday just to get him out of there. Because I was in that we was talking about that Desmond Bain deal when they had all of those picks. That's kind of how they got Contavious Caldwell Pope to the Memphis Grizzlies. I think they wanted to get out the KCP business so much that they had attached probably an extra pick
Yeah, they
just
did.
just to sweeten the deal. So I'm thinking now, do you have to attach? Because it may be Drew, because Kristaps, like I said, he's expiring. So you do know that you'll get some space coming when because I'm pretty sure whoever trade for Kristaps, it's probably, I'm not gonna say it's safe to say, but it's a good chance they wouldn't retain him. I wouldn't want to remain in the Kristaps Porzingis business.
I felt like they should have traded him last season. I was definitely ahead of that. They should have traded him after they won the championship last year.
But when
But
you win a championship, I feel like all of the emotions, like he could get healthy, we could run it back. That's good. They got to be the logic in that for real.
that's why you got to be in contact with me. So you know,
Right. I feel you.
Boston should be in contact with me. They wouldn't let their emotions get in the way. If you win the championship without somebody that played, and he was always going to do nothing but get hurt again, I would have, and his value would have been, if they would have traded him last summer, his value would have been crazy. If they would
But
have
what,
traded him last summer,
but what happened to him? We're trying to figure out what happened this season. Though, like,
I mean,
is
for
it?
some,
They were saying he was sick. I'm like, what? Like
yeah,
he looked crazy. What's wrong with him?
he was sick. He probably got like it's like autoimmune or something. Probably some type of like immune, something like something that just like you sick, not like an injury, but even regardless, he was out, and he's just got a history of being out.
Whatever
Whether
it was, they kept that
physical,
under wraps.
yeah, whether it's be like a physical injury or a day to day sickness, like he just happened to be out, you know. So I feel like they Ben should have traded him. For Drew Holiday, I don't feel like you need to. I don't feel like you need to attach a pick to get rid of him because Drew Holiday got a lot of value still, you know. That's a two-time champion who got a specific role. That's a big role. He might not be as good in that role anymore, but it depends on who calling. If somebody calling for Drew, you know, then you might be getting a pick back for Drew. If somebody calling, if you calling to get rid of Drew, then I don't know. I think Drew's he can still go to one of the teams that's more of a championship contender, if anything. And also for me, if I'm Boston, I don't even know if I even want to trade Drew. So I know you talk a lot about like the cap and um, the luxury taxes. Is if you want to pay it, it's not a problem if you paying it. You know what I'm saying? So if Boston is willing to pay it and ride it out until they see Tatum come back, then I wouldn't be such a rush to move anybody. Probably just Porzingis, if anything. You know what they should do with Porzingis? I got one for Porzingis. Danny Ainge is a Celtic man. Uh, you got to be able to do business together. You know, sometimes I know he over there in Utah. I mean, I feel like they can make something work with Laurie and Porzingis. You know, let Danny
Huh?
do. Yeah, 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 yeah,
No,
yeah. I think they could do something with.
I can't see that.
I can see it. I can see that. See, I can
what's
see.
in it, what's in it for Utah? Cap space?
Yeah, body cap space.
But why would they? Why would they let? I think I heard somebody say that they not in the tanking business in Utah no more.
How you who it don't matter if you in the business or not. If you win it 16, 17 games, you in that business whether you want to be in there or not.
But if I'm the Celtics, I'm not going to be competitive next. Oh, it's well. Let me chill. It's a good chance that they wouldn't be competitive next year, and you know they got new ownership. So if
If you
I'm the
trade
new owner, why
if
would you
you
want to pay the bill on a team that's not going to be competitive though?
if you trading for Laurie, you're gonna be trading for a much more reliable player who's still getting a good contract, but he kind of fits the bill of what Porzingis was, and he's younger, and you got a player that kind of keep you right in the mix when Jason Tatum come back, and you get rid of Porzingis, and you still keep that stretch big, so you need to keep playing the way that you're playing. Um, and Laurie's a good player who ain't really being able to do much on a team that's losing. So Danny Ainge need to go ahead and just cut him loose. You know, do your Celtics a solid and make the KP for Laurie move happen.
I don't know how they would be able to afford that though, because Lowry's on the he's on a 4 195. They'll
Yeah,
have Tatum
Porzingis
and
is like
Brown who's on
one.
two threes.
Porzingis
Then
is on like 180.
180.
You know, like a 170, 180. Yeah, Porzingis, all
But
four of
his
them.
is but his is expiring though.
But it's not like it's still like a year or two left.
But I think if I'm the Celtics, though, I think I use this reset as a chance to kind of usher in the next regime of Boston Celtics basketball. I would kind of want to trim some of the fat off of this and like go into my next era. I would probably get rid of Kristaps. I don't know if I would get rid of Kristaps and Drew. You could shed a lot of cap like that, but I don't know if that's the direction. I don't really know the direction they're gonna go in. All I know is next season they're gonna be a lot less competitive than what we are accustomed to.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the only thing I do know. But outside of the Celtics, you said something about I think was it the other pod, the Giannis pod? You said something about Philly that you kind of had I don't know if you're too high on them, but you had some
Nah, it was
expectations.
just more like a thing of health. Just
What
what the
pick
just
what
the
pick
potential. Yeah, go ahead.
what pick do they have?
I forgot what pick.
Is it six?
I
Fifth
think
or
it
sixth?
was. I think it was supposed to be a top 10 pick. I think it was because they is that the pick from who did they get that pick from?
I think they got the third pick.
Oh, they got third. That's right. They did get the third. That's right. That's right.
They got the third pick in the draft. Do
Yeah,
you kind of got to keep that, right?
you might as well because this is going to be it's a lot of juice in that top five in the draft. So you might as well you might want to get you a sip of that. There's some good talent in that top five.
Yo,
And
not for nothing, bro. If I'm Utah or if I'm Washington, I'm kind of pissed for real.
for like what you mean
This
like
is
that.
why a lot of these franchises stay bad. Stuff like this. Like I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know if this Philly pick was their own pick or if they got it from somebody. I just
It
know they
was
was
protected. It was protected up until a
top.
certain.
Okay,
It was
top like
protected, so they had to like finish a certain space in the conference, and they was close to losing it too. Had they finished, it would have went back to whoever it was supposed to go to. But so it was projected to be six, but then a lot of the balls fell to where it was going to be third. But they were going to lose it though. But they did that tank job properly. Get to keep that pick.
that's how you tank. And I know if I'm Utah, if I'm Washington, I'm pissed. But the thing about it is like they season rest on the shoulders of Joel Embiid, and I don't know. And I like Joel Embiid a lot, but at this point, I don't know if I'm all in on Joel Embiid anymore. I just feel like he hasn't put together that run, that span. I feel like when he first came back from the whole like trust the process, when he came back from all that, he did put together some semi-healthy type seasons. He was very dominant. He even got an MVP to show for it, but as of late, it's just like he stayed hurt. I don't know if he's lost the weight. I don't know what they require of him as far as like from a weight standpoint. I don't know what physical shape he's in. I just know he's been out of basketball for a minute,
Yeah,
going into last season. I would expect him to come into next season fully healthy, fully cleared. But Paul George, I think he kind of got a wake up call. You even saw him; he was on his little tour, media tour, saying that like the Philly fan base, they kind of let him understand what type of time they on. You playing with the Sixers now? Well, what meaning really means to this city, to this organization, and stuff like that. And the one consistent I feel like is Tyrese Maxey, young All Star caliber player. They did have a player in Jared McCain who you spoke of earlier. I ain't gonna lie, homie, nice, super nice. So if I'm Philly, if I could come in next season knowing that a team like the Celtics won't be there, how come they can't have the optimism of well, the East probably could be ours, or we could be a top 3, 4 team, but as I said before, my open sentiments about this team, they rest on the shoulders of Joel Embiid. I just don't know. I don't know how much faith I have in him to really put that run together because he's 30 now. So this is like we getting towards the back half of the career. Like your legacy is getting ready to be what it's gonna be. I feel like these are the defining moments, but I just don't know how where I am with him anymore.
yeah,
Respectfully,
rightfully so. But if you look at what the NBA has been over the last few years, all you gotta do is put it together for 1 year. You just put it together for 1 year, and you can make something happen. Um, all these teams is one and done, and all these teams that won a championship over the last few years, they look like the best thing cooking, man. Like when Milwaukee won, Milwaukee and Giannis, they look like the best thing cooking. Same thing with Denver, Boston. They all look like that for that 1 year run. And if we in the year, if that's what it's going to kind of be for a little bit, then Philly is no different. Of course, if it's going to come down to health, and I ain't making no bets on Embiid to stay healthy, but they got the talent. He's still talented. They got the team. They got the roster. They got the pick. You really got to only put it together for 1 year. You just got to put it together for one season, and you'll end up in the finals.
I haven't really like made peace with the parody era. I think it's cool for the NBA, especially like Oklahoma City.
I want to
And
mention that too with a problem or why I think we are having that. But go ahead.
no, I want to hear this.
Um, I think when people are saying like, so who's the next face of the league after LeBron? I think
Right.
that's I think that's what it comes down to. There ain't one. You just got a lot of good teams right now. So
Uh,
when you don't have no one singular great player that's like guaranteed to like punch himself into the finals or into the conference finals, this is kind of what you get. You don't got that one clear cut player that's like dominating over the league. You got like you can have your top five, but whoever's in your top five can rotate every year, a couple of years or two. They can call kind of rotate. So not having that face of the league, that one over player, that one dominant player, you kind of get the result of where you get like the best of the league kind of got a fair shot against everybody. So that's probably what it's going to look like because not only is it the individual players, you see multiple like franchises being able to put a roster together that can compete for a championship, even if it's for 1 year only. You got multiple teams that can kind of do that right now. People are looking at going with depth over the 3 stars now. A lot of these players that got drafted over the last 2 3 years is kind of cooking now. You see the Pacers. You look at the Thunder. A lot of these people that got these people have been drafted over the last few years, so they big parts of lineups now. So imagine watching the finals. Ain't nobody playing 45 minutes, 42 minutes, 44 minutes. We in the finals. Man, Shea playing like 38 minutes, 40 minutes.
mhm.
Halliburton, healthy or not, he playing like 36, 38 minutes. This is kind of the method that's being like operated at the moment. So um, until we get one singular dominant player to kind of like tighten up the league, this is probably what it's going to look like for a little bit. Or unless you got one of those, or unless it's going to look like Golden State, to where you got that one player, but you also got the ownership that's cool with just keeping the funds going and keeping that team relevant because it's worth it to them. So yeah, that's kind of I feel like it's this is the season of going for it too.
Let me ask you this. I know you just spoke on like face of the league, but I've been thinking. I think I'm good on face of the league. I think I'm cool as far as like trying to find a guy who we just gonna give the crown to. I think I'm over that. I feel like the generation before us, they were always fixated on that because they always kind of had one, and we always had one for the most part. But I think with this era, it's just everybody's nice. It's a lot of people. Isn't everybody's not untouchable? Everybody isn't a superstar, but it's a lot of guys that's nice. But it's always been that way. They always had like the Wilts and the Dr. J's and the Magics and the Birds and the MJs. I feel like that era, they more so fixated on the face of the league than like our generation on down for real. Like I think I'm cool on that for real.
I think I don't think it's nothing. It's not something that I don't feel like is the same as like people are looking for it to be one. I never felt like people were looking like throughout all the years, even from back then. I don't think anybody was like, yeah, we need to have one.
Right.
It is one because somebody becomes one. It's not something that you can kind of look for. It happens. Like it just does. There's always going to be players that we look for to be that. LeBron was.
Mhm.
LeBron was definitely somebody that we looked like we looked to be the face of the league, and he took it. There was going to be no denying it. So that's always going to be the case. Whoever is going to be the face of the league, because it will be a face of the league, because somebody going to rise to the top, and that's who everybody going to consider the face of the league. So I don't feel like it's something that people like look for or like we need to have it. I just think it just happens.
So Chet took a lot. He's been taking a lot of flack. I ain't saying from like the media, but I'm saying like from like my close friends, my group of people that talk sports. I listen. I kind of listen. I didn't really have a rebuttal. I feel like Chet has been taking some unfair criticism, and I know what I'm finna get ready to say sounds like an excuse, but it is what it is. This is a tough spot for Chet. Chet is like what 21 years old.
I don't
Like,
understand it. I don't get it.
like, like,
Why not to listen? Because I don't even understand like criticism. But go ahead.
a lot, yeah. Because I know some. Shout out to us, my people like Dewan. Shout out to my boy James. Shout out to y'all. This ain't like slight. I'm just taking notes of the criticism. A lot of people saying that like they need to trade Chet. Chet need to gain some weight. And I'm listening. I'm like, bro, he only like 21. This is like his second, third year in the league, and they already like
What is he
this.
supposed to do? What is he supposed to be doing?
This is one of the rare instances of like Magic got to the league immediately. Here you go. We're gonna throw you in the finals. Chet got in the league. It's like, all right, what's the conference semifinals? NBA finals. It's like you still learning as you going. Like, we can't help that Shea is averaging 30 points 3 years in a row. We can't help that me and Jalen Williams got drafted in the same time, and we both nice. We got the best GM that I've seen in a long time in Sam Presti, Alex Caruso. You insert him. I feel like that's one of the most underrated moves, but properly rated. If you know, Alex Caruso is a great defender, great player. Isaiah Hartenstein, one of the best free agent signings last season. I'm like, what is Chet doing wrong? Like, I understand that he's slim. We all said the same thing about Kevin Durant. It's not about gaining weight, it's about gaining strength. I feel like Chet's game will come in time. Like, whatever his zenith is, whatever his peak is, he won't reach that for another few years. Like, he's still knocking on the door to all-stardom as a player. Like, where is this unfair criticism? I don't understand it. Do you not understand the spot that Chet's in right now? Like, he's super young. This is all new territory. He's never been here. A lot of these players never been here before. Am I off?
I mean, he like the third best player on the team. Like
At 21 years old, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy.
Chet is. I think people just if people are saying that for right now, it's just because I think that got more to do with the Pacers than him. The Pacers is just giving the Thunder more fits than people thought they was. So
Yeah, they
you
playing
kind
tough.
of it get exposed to one player who ain't playing as good, and he's not playing as good as Jalen or as good as damn maybe not even as good as a Caruso, but he's out there. I think last game he got 11 or 15 rebounds. He didn't score double figures. I think he shot the ball pretty bad. Um, but for what he's given them, they got depth, and right now he's just a part of that depth. He's a part of the big three. To me, he's good. This is not his first finals. I think this is his first one. I think it's
Yeah,
all of the first one.
yeah, everybody
I mean, I feel like
except for Caruso. Other than that, they all knew.
yeah, I think they all just kind of got here. So they about to win a championship. Chet about to win is at 21, 22, 23 years old, and he'll gain his weight whenever he needs to. So I don't really get the criticism, but I just think it has more to do with the fact that these games been a little closer than they thought they would be, and he just come up to the forefront of one of the players who's just not playing that as good. Had
Yeah,
they
my bad.
swept already,
He's 23. That's my bad. I'm tripping. Yeah, he's 23. My bad. But go ahead.
if they would have swept the Pacers by now, we wouldn't have been saying nothing about Chet.
No.
So to me he good. Chet is just he is where he is. You know, his game is kind of he's skinny. He's kind of a shooter. You know, he's a stretch big, 7'1" shooter. Um, we've already seen that can be kind of hit or miss when it comes to the big with the shooting. They're just not going to be as consistent as a guard from game to game or percentage wise. But he's a tough player. He got the mental part of it. He's a good offensive talent. He's a decent rebounder. Yeah, he's small. That's why your GM get you Hardenstein. You know, they ain't just gonna just let it little skinny Chet just sit there and just get
Exactly.
punished. You got somebody to help him out. So I think everybody taking care of Chet, man.
Yeah, just take it easy.
Yeah.
So the coach called a play for you, B8. He said he wanted an ISO, so I'm gonna go stand in the corner real quick. You a Lakers fan? You know,
Yeah.
we got some Laker news, man. So
Yeah, yeah,
here, here you go. I'm gonna stand in the corner.
yeah, man.
Uh,
So of course that was definitely that was crazy to see that they actually like traded. I mean, that they sold the team. But if you look at it now, over the last 20 years, ain't like damn near every team done been sold at this point. I can't think of too
Not
many
the
teams.
whole team, a majority stake at least.
Yeah, most teams have trained. We've heard. I don't think there's many years that go by where we don't hear ownership changing hands. Every team gets sold. Right now, they're at the peak of profitability right now. And as far as like the Lakers go, they've always been one of the few teams that operate solely really just based off of the Lakers. You know, like a lot of the other owners, they have other businesses. They have other uh, uh, stakes and other things that they have going on in their life. So where they're buying a franchise after the fact. You know, these are guys that's already successful in whatever it is. You got Clippers owner. You got a bunch of owners that just made their money somewhere else and they just happened to be buying the team. Lakers is a bit different. They kind of call them like a mom and pop shop. You know, only team that kind of like family owned. The majority of their income is um, from the Lakers. Uh, so I was listening to Wendy, and we were talking about them being, as far as Lakers being profitable. That's always been a thing. Even though their pockets is not as deep as other owners, we were talking about like the Lakers local TV deal is still like legendary. Wendy said that he said the Memphis Grizzlies local TV deal, like the Lakers will make what the Grizzlies make from their local TV deal in a season. They'll make that. They'll make that in a night or in a week. He said they make that in a week. Like so, whatever the Grizzlies can get for the season, the Lakers get that in 1 week from their local TV deal. So it's a huge cash. It's still something that's super profitable, but once again, it's one of those numbers that you just can't refuse. It's $10 billion. It's $10 billion. Based on like them not, they ain't got $10 billion, but they do now from selling the team. And I think the whoever bought it, I think he already had 27% of the team
Oh yeah.
already. Yeah, he already had 27% of the team. So um, he's just getting more than 50%. I don't know how much more over 50% he's getting. Whatever it is, he just become. You just need to have 51% to be the majority owner. So I'm assuming it's just 51% and greater. Um, so 50 points from like the business point, maybe that's just regular business. But as far as like maybe what it might look like for as far as the team and as far as LA, um, that owner is the same owner that owns the Dodgers, and you see how the Dodgers kind of turned around just with the spending. So maybe now the Lakers in a few years, you know, after the LeBrons, they'll just have a bigger bag, you know, as far as the pull resources from, as far as
Right.
finances goes. That'll be things like the arena. Um, of course, that'll probably trickle down to the roster. Maybe um, depending on what the team looks like in a few years, they will be one of the teams that's willing to go past the first, second apron because now the bag's a little bigger. They got an owner who's he knows the value in investing in big time players. You know, the New York could possibly be winning. We just won the World Series, so um, it's probably don't look like much over the next couple of years because it's more of an ownership. It's not like a fan to fan kind of transaction, not a player transaction. It's more of a business transaction. I think Genie's going to be the governor
Mm.
still, but kind of like the same thing with Mark Cuban. I think that's just for a period of time for you to kind of just stay the face. But you see, Cuban's pretty much up out of there, you know, regardless. I'm pretty sure he got his little back end stake, but looks like that as far as like the legacy of LA, it's probably just going to be changing hands a bit. I'm sure the Bus family will still have some type of stake in the team, but now maybe they get a new arena now. I don't think they don't own crypto. Maybe they'll purchase crypto now. Maybe that arena
Mm.
is they'll own it now. Maybe they'll get the more revenue from owning the arena as well. But this looks like maybe in the future we just look like we might have better finances, basically.
So that was good stuff, by the way. Appreciate that. Last on the docket is KD. I know he had his preferred destinations. I feel like at this point in his career, even though he has preferred destinations, Phoenix is gonna do what's best for them. Um, Anytime I think of Phoenix, man, I just always revert back to my Devin Booker take. I'm just like, bro, I ain't gonna lie, I think he's just embedded in the city. I think he just wants to be there. There's nothing wrong with that, but I don't know how close they are. Because if I'm any team in the West, I'm looking at the Thunder, I'm looking at the Timberwolves, I'm looking at the Nuggets. I'm like, how close are we really? So, but anyway, back to Kevin Durant. He said Houston, he said San Antonio, and who was the last team? Was it Miami? No, it
Yeah,
wasn't Miami. It was
yeah.
Miami.
Hmm.
I think Houston is where I would probably prefer to see him. Um, I don't know where I am on the San Antonio side of things. They got the number two pick. I know they're not giving that up because everything I'm hearing, it seemed like they are locked to take Harper at number two. Um, would you if it ain't really about Kevin Durant, it's about like the team that would be trading for him at this point. Would you trade for him if you are the Spurs? Because the timeline, I want to try to get out of this whole timeline thing, but you can't kind of help it sometimes. Kevin Durant, he's trying to win a championship, and they already got De'Aaron Fox, who's in the middle of his prime. So it's like, and you're bringing on a number two pick with a full season off season of development in like Stephon Castle. So it's like you definitely
Uh,
sell it online.
if I'm the Spurs, it the if I'm the Spurs, the problem is with Phoenix. I'm probably not giving you probably what you think. I'm just probably not. I'm giving you the lesser of all my picks. Um, I think KD for them is luxury more or less than anything. Um, if I'm the Spurs, I might be looking at Giannis. I might keep monitoring that situation. I don't know if I want to waste the resources on KD. Not even that it would be a waste. I just don't think I would want to use those resources on KD if um if I got the potential to get Giannis. If I'm the Spurs, I'll just go ahead and just miss that boat. If KD go to the Rockets and they win a championship next year, then cool. The Spurs probably got a chance to kind of do something about the whole parity thing. Them team like the Thunder, those are kind of the teams I could, might be able to put an end to the parity. And you don't necessarily need KD right now to do that. Um, I think Phoenix is trying to get top dollar for him. Um,
It's crazy that you say that. It said the Spurs reportedly by Bleacher Report. It said the Spurs they're reportedly not going to go all in for KD. So you said that they're not going to empty the clip for Kevin Durant.
it's no the only team I see doing it is Houston because they got a real need for KD. And
They
even
do.
then, I'm kind of like I ain't trading Jalen Green.
You're gonna
He's,
have to though.
I'm not
That's
doing
probably
that. Then it's
you
that
wouldn't.
for me is a no, it's a deal breaker. Then
Amen Thompson is the hang
I
up the
ain't trading
phone.
him either. I ain't trading
I
him
think it's Jalen Green and Jabari Smith. I think those are the two that you probably got to get rid of.
if I'm Houston, I'm looking at Jabari, Tari Eason, some picks. Maybe if you want Cam Whitmore, two players and two picks. If that don't get it done, I'm not trying to because like Houston do got a real shot, but it ain't guaranteed though. It's just not guaranteed that they go and get that championship. I'm not going to trade Jalen Green for KD. I'm just not going to do it.
So
And KD too, man. KD is people don't understand from like KD personality wise. he's kind of like a 1 to 2 year player anyway. Even his personality, he don't seem like to be the best player, especially if things can probably go right. I don't think I want KD for more than a year or two. If I can't get the championship within a year or two, I want him off. I want him off my books. So I'm not looking at trying to have KD around for a long time if I'm Houston anyway. If anything, I'm trying to get him for a couple of years, but I'm not about to trade. I'm not trading Jalen, Amin, or Sengun. I got picks for you. I got like some potential with Jabari, who can kind of be like maybe he can be a all star for you. Maybe a Tory, maybe a Cam, maybe a couple of picks. And I'm probably not trading Reed Shepard either. I just don't see. And from what I'm saying about what I think KD should get, I ultimately think that's about what Phoenix will get for him. They're gonna get a couple of picks and a couple of players. That's it.
Yeah,
They're not getting 2 or 3 players or no 2 or 3 first round picks. It's just not happening. There's no point because when you trying to trade KD, you gotta call me. Like I might be calling you too, but you
absolutely.
definitely you calling me back. You know what I'm saying? So like we calling each other. So this it ain't. If I'm Houston, I'm not. I want to be aggressive with trying to get him, but I'm only going to be as aggressive as the next aggressive team. I'm not trying to win the bidding war for KD. I'm just not.
I would really be surprised if Jalen Green isn't in that trade.
I mean, I'm not saying
I don't
that
see
he
how you
wouldn't.
get. I don't see how you get the deal done.
I wouldn't do it. You said who?
I don't see how you get the deal done.
Then I'm not doing
What-
the deal.
What's in it for Phoenix though? Because I know the
Phoenix
deal.
is Phoenix is gone.
He
Phoenix is what's in it for Phoenix is a hard lesson learned. That's what's in it for Phoenix. It's a hard lesson learned. This is what it looked like when you trade for Bradley Bill.
that's the lesson. I mean, that's what still remains.
Because the
That's
problem is that they can't get rid of him, so it's the urgency to get of dumping KD. So this is what the a new owner. This is what the hard reality of what the NBA will look like when you're trying to trade a 36-year-old. Yeah, he a legend, but when you see these players,
he's still great though. He's pretty good though. He's been consistent.
he is 26, 27 points a game. He's great, but I ain't about to like empty the clip for him. I'm just not. Like I said, I feel like you can get. I feel like a couple first round picks and a young player or two is plenty. That's plenty compensation enough. Phoenix, you ain't about to just let another team ain't about to just get you out of your misery like that. You ain't about to just get 4 first round picks and get the top 5 pick this year and number 3 next year and be on your way. You're gonna have to learn a hard lesson about what you did. you going and I think other owners is going to be looking at that too. Like, yeah, we're going to teach you a lesson about what it is to be a governor in our league.
He is in line for a deal too. I believe it's 2 years, 122 mil or something
It'll be
like
the
that.
Jimmy Butler deal, yeah, like the
It's
same. Yeah,
something like that. But I can't. I
I don't
think
mind, I don't mind paying him that.
I think Houston is the move. Only thing is
Pardon me too. I think so too. It just for what
Green had Green gonna be in that deal.
you could be right. I just if I'm
I could
Houston,
be wrong too.
no, I'm not saying. I feel like if that's a deal breaker, I'm just not. I'm just not going to do it. And who else you going to get? What's the next deal? Who else? What is San Antonio going to give you? You're not getting a Castle. You're
San
not getting,
Antonio's house it's almost house money.
so and from the Heat, who you getting from the Heat? Houston probably going to end up with the best deal with no Jalen Green.
Because if I'm Miami,
Who are you trading if you're Miami?
I would want to keep Hero and Bam. I don't think Bam is I don't think they would trade Bam. I think they would trade Tyler rather than I wouldn't trade. I don't know. I don't know if Bam is untouchable. I'm
I
not
don't
saying
even
Bam is
think.
untouchable in the grand scheme of things. I think Bam is untouchable to the Heat. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like Bam mean more to the Heat than he does to Phoenix. I think Phoenix wants to get out of the cap business of that. They're looking to reset their team as far as cap and players. They're not. Bam is a right now player. I don't think Phoenix is looking for right now players. They're looking to get out that cap situation. That's what they're looking to do, and they want to get some draft potential. So they're not looking for like an already made player. And even Tyler Hero, she's the same thing as Bradley Beal and Devin Booker. He's like the same. He's the same height as them. He's like 6'4". He's the same height. He's just don't play defense like them. He take a bunch of shots. He make a bunch of money too. I think he got paid like maybe 140 something a couple years ago. So if the Heat can't give you much, and the Spurs ain't emptying the clip, what else deal? If Houston's if the best deal you can get don't include Jalen Green, then what are you going to take? Who are you trading Kevin Durant to? I still feel like he should go to Minnesota, but that's neither here nor there. Um, I feel like Minnesota would be a lot more aggressive, or just as aggressive as Houston will be. But I don't think they traded McDaniels. Like it just people want to be able to get KD and be able to still compete. Um, I feel like Phoenix is not looking for a player anyway. So if they don't end up with a Jalen Green, I don't think that's the end of the world if you can get you a couple first round picks and maybe you get another solid player like Jabari Smith, he's a pretty solid player. Getting Jabari and Tari, I don't think you can get a better deal than Jabari, Tari, and a couple first round picks. If we just kind of going by the preferred destinations, who's going to give you better than that? So
I see a.
there's
I
no
was gonna
point
make
in betting against yourself. There's no point in putting Jalen Green in the trade if the Spurs ain't offering Stephen Castle or if they're not offering number 2 pick. What's the point? You betting against yourself you bidding against yourself at that point.
Did you see what they paid Jalen Green?
They paid him a solid deal.
That's a
He got like
very, very.
a short deal.
That's a very tradable contract. I don't know
Yeah,
how long the Rockets want to be in the Jalen Green business.
you could
So
be right about that. But
from a scoring standpoint, I know Kevin Durant is well over a decade older than Jalen Green, but he's a more refined offensive player at this point.
absolutely,
I always will. I don't know what Jalen Green's ceiling is from an offensive standpoint. I don't know what Jalen Green is as an NBA player because it's like
he's a scorer.
he
He's a
ha-
scorer.
he have these moments where he looks terrific. He have other moments where he just disappears off the basketball court. So, but if I'm Phoenix and I'm trading Kevin Durant, I would just want to bet on the upside. What if you get a third team involved? I did see a 3-team potential trade between the Suns, the
What
Heat,
if
and
you're Phoenix? Why do you want Jalen Green if you're Phoenix?
like I said, you would want to bet on the upside. And I would want to do something to show Devin Booker that we're trying to do something
You
as opposed
can't.
to as the spot we in. I
You
don't have a lot
can't.
to work with I don't have nothing to work with BA. All I have was what we
Yeah.
talking
You
about.
still got Bradley Bill sitting there. I be hearing how you said his wife
Oh,
and kids.
don't worry about
Love
Bradley Bill.
Phoenix.
He make it. Don't worry about him.
So
He ain't
when you
going.
have these
He ain't going
contracts on
nowhere.
your team, ain't no competing. So Phoenix, you know what Devin Booker gonna do? He gonna take them Damian Lillard, Portland extensions for a couple more years. I'm saying he gonna max out a couple of more deals. I think he gonna get paid 75 million a year the next deal. He gonna take them big bags. He gonna enjoy that good Phoenix sun and enjoy them long off seasons for the next couple of years. Because even if you get Jalen Green, that ain't doing nothing for you. Like you're not competing with a player that's the same as 2 other players on your team. You got a scoring guard who don't play defense. I wouldn't even if I'm Phoenix, what I want Jalen Green for. I'm not gonna win with him. You might as well just get Jabari because you need some size. Get a defensive player like Tari, take a couple first round picks, and lick your wounds, man. Take your punishment. Take your losses. This is a rookie owner, and them GMs in Phoenix and whoever negotiate with Phoenix, I'm sure they thinking the way I'm thinking too. Like, yeah. You think you're gonna come in our league and do all the bullshit, trade away half your team, and think you're gonna recoup all your picks by trading a player that you traded for 2 or 3 years ago and double back and think he got the same value. It's called depreciation in value. Whether his talent has depreciated, his age has. And they gonna get the GM in Phoenix. They're gonna get him, because I don't think I said I feel like whoever does get KD, they right there in the hunt. Like wherever he go to the East, West, that's probably like an easy punch in into the next conference, like Eastern Conference Finals next year, Western Conference Finals. Definitely, you got a good shot of getting there. But I think you can get him without breaking your team. You don't need to. Phoenix think they getting that. That's what they think they getting. They not. They just not. I'm almost certain the deal gonna look a lot similar to what I say, unless like you said, where Houston don't want Jalen Green. If Houston don't want Jalen Green, then that's different. Then they can include him in whatever. If they don't feel like he got the value and they'd rather not have that spot regardless if KD's holding. So that's the only caveat that I feel like they'll trade him. If they don't want the player, then that's another thing. But I don't feel like if Houston says no Jalen Green, I feel like you can still make the KD trade happen. Um, and Phoenix got to eat that. They just gotta eat what that look like. We're gonna see real soon because I'm pretty sure that ain't gonna happen till after the season. But the reality gonna kick in real quick for them. I think it's already kicking in. I already seen reports that Phoenix got to lower their asking price and all of that nonsense. And um, I'm telling you, man, they're gonna get him for like a couple of picks and a couple of players. Also, if he was traded him to the Heat, like we said, what are you getting? What are you giving up from the Heat?
I don't know.
Do they have picks?
I don't know. I don't know what shape Miami's in because if you really think about the roster that they have, I don't know what it is. It's like Bam, it's Tyler, it's Duncan Robinson, it's Terry Rozier, and whatever. I don't know what happened to Terry. To be honest with you, I don't. I do like Hami Jaquez. You got
What
Khalil
happened?
Ware.
He didn't play all last year. He stopped playing. He played the first year. I don't know what he did off the off season. Maybe he posted too many photos. He ain't play last year. He
It
just
seems like in order for him to go to the Heat, you're gonna need a third team. In order for him to go to the Spurs or the Rockets, you could trade directly to. You could do a
yeah.
direct trade with those two teams. That's pretty much what it is. I got a great note for us to end on because I like this episode. Bradley Beal makes 53 million this season. Coming up the next season, he got a $57 million player option that is no brainer. He's picking that up, and he'll be an unrestricted free agent the year after that. So 27-28, he'll be 34 and unrestricted. Career earnings $318 million.
Rightfully so.
Man, I appreciate you, brother, for pulling up,
Yes,
man.
sir.
This was dope.
Of course, man. Anytime, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir.